Been so long.
Well, I heard that.
But I can't hear me.
All right, folks, Roland Bubba Grimes here on the Roland Grimes Show live. It's been a while since I've been behind the booth, so if you all didn't know, now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. So we're working on our technical stuff here, Roland Bubba Grimes, the Roland Grimes Show live, not just sports entertainment, our beauty and the beast version. I have with me Coach Tanya. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear me.
You can read my lips?
Yes. I can hear you, though.
You can hear me and read my lips?
Yeah.
All right, so tell me when you can hear me and hear me.
Testing. I can hear you. Just can't hear me, but I'm good. We can roll with it.
You can hear yourself?
We can roll with it.
Oh, well, you know, sometimes it's not a bad
As long as Reggie can hear me, as long as Ron can hear me, we good.
Ron, can you hear her? All right. So, Frankie J.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I heard that.
That's too loud.
You should turn it down? Yeah, because Frankie said, hey!
Yes,
we heard you.
Oh, my God.
Folks, it's Monday.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's all right. It's Monday night. I'm in chocolate night on the Monday night here with Ramalda, the Redskins cupcake lady. How are you?
I'm great, and you?
All right, next time you come with our cupcakes, we're going to ban you from the stadium.
Okay, right.
I said it every show.
I guess somebody will be paying me. You know, hey, it's not a problem. It's not a problem.
You know, look, every week we pitch in $3 and we get us some cupcakes.
Cool.
Cool.
Yes.
So just do us a discount if you would. You know, we appreciate that. So y'all heard on the air now that she's not bringing free cupcakes. And she's only bringing in that there's a contribution to the cause.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So in the news with Frankie J. Frank, talk to me.
Oh, yeah. I like to do this segment called Frankie J. in the news. The Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, has reported 450 cases of the Zika virus from mosquito bites. But the CDC also reported 10 cases of the Zika virus that was sexually transmitted. I started thinking, oh my God, are people having sex with mosquitoes now? Just a thought.
Okay, just a thought.
Just a thought.
Well, some of the people do look like that, but
Some
hey.
people like animals.
What is disturbing about that is the CDC has been constantly telling everyone you can only get the Zika virus from a mosquito bite, but apparently it can be sexually transmitted. So just be on alert. Just saying.
So let me just ruin my whole.
Isn't that weird, man? I'm just, hey,
I mean,
I'm reporting the news as I read it.
Not that I'm having sex or getting bit by mosquitoes.
Wait a minute.
But
So
just,
this is not one of your jokes. This
No,
is
that is for real. No, that is for real.
You know what? I would take it being real, considering that if it can transform a baby into the way that they are born now.
All right, look, y'all, don't y'all start having no serious conversation
It's
about.
real.
Don't you start having a serious conversation
I
about.
believe it. How about that? I
Okay,
believe it.
all
And,
right.
and I think that 9 times out of 10, it was made somewhere in a lab, somewhere to be able to
Oh,
destroy
really?
people,
All
period.
right, Ramalda,
Wow.
so we all can hear you. Can you pull a microphone
Oh,
up
you can't
closer to
hear
your
me? I
lips?
can hear myself.
I know, isn't that
Okay.
something?
All
Because you know what you're saying, but you said you believe it, right?
I do
Yes,
believe
But
it.
you also believe in like
Hey, we can go.
Living in the water.
I believe.
extra.
that
Look at
aliens
Reggie over there. Like,
It's Reggie, it's aliens in the water.
I
She
believe
said.
It's aliens in the water.
Aquatic
I do.
aliens.
yeah, and they're being transmitted. They're being transmitted into our drinking water.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll find out. You
So
were like,
well-
you know what? I heard it first here on Roland Grimes Show.
Okay.
Live.
No, I heard it first on the National Enquirer.
It's
Exactly.
coming back around.
All right, now Frank,
Yes,
Frank,
sir.
I don't know if you know this, but if someone has sex with a mosquito, there's really nothing that they should brag about because that means that there's some physiological challenges going
Exactly. Exactly. But I'm
on.
both
That no human being should admit to.
Exactly. Or you can think about, yo, man, you haven't had a real tight sex unless you had some sex with mosquitoes.
Nah,
Up
dude.
to-
I mean, either that's a mosquito on 8 pounds of steroids,
What?
or you have a problem. as
I'm
a
telling
human
you,
being.
man, that is
So
so
I mean,
weird.
either way you slice it, man. Here's the thing: if I tell you that a virus can be moved by breathing, sleeping, rolling over, whatever, then that means that I can sell you more news. And then what happens is you come on TV and you talk about it.
Or on
Like,
Roland
have y'all
Grimes Show.
right? On Roland Grimes Show. Have y'all noticed, like, for the last week, we were supposed to be underwater by now. Like every weather station has said we were going to have 10,000 inches of rain over the last week. How much has it rained? Right.
Maybe what? An inch
It's rained
and
a
a
couple
half.
days.
No, I think it like 5 inches of rain over the weekend, I believe.
Over what weekend? Which weekend you talking about? Man, we
Oh,
don't have
okay.
clouds in the sky.
Oh,
man. But if I
okay.
keep telling you that it's doomsday, you're going to keep tuning in.
Right.
And you keep tuning in, the numbers go up, and so do the sponsors. See, I learned that from media class.
Media 101.
No, actually it's fourth level class, 401.
Okay.
101, they say that y'all don't know what y'all doing. 201, they say, now you know you don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
301, they say, now you know that you don't know what you're doing, so
Right.
now you need to know what you're doing. And then 401, they say, it's all a lie. It's
a
all
lie.
given. It's all given to drive sponsors.
Okay.
Except the Roland Grimes Show, we try to be real here. We're driving sponsors, but we're also driving some information. So on that basis, folks, we had something happen last night that was quite a firestorm all day. I actually watched the BET Awards. And give us a call, 240-455-5934. 240-455-5934. I watched the BET Awards show, and I got to tell you, Coach Tanya, you know one thing that happened?
What?
I felt so old.
Because you didn't know half of the songs or half of the artists that came out there, did you? We both kind of felt old then, because I didn't either.
I didn't know any. I'm like, who? What?
Yeah.
And my son was jumping around and
was gonna say, you
singing
have
when
to
the,
ask your
when the,
kids,
when the
right.
Joker was running around. I didn't understand the word he was saying. And he was doing that, and my
ask
son was
my
doing
kids.
it with him. And everybody, Samuel L. Jackson knew the words, and I'm like, where have
See, I didn't
been?
see it all. I
Exactly.
recorded it, so I'll have to watch it all again.
I mean, I'm not going to, but you ain't going to miss a whole lot if
Right.
you don't watch it. So
I just want to watch it just for the Prince tributes.
got you. So we just
That's what I
got.
wanna
So you
see
can
it
watch
for.
the Prince tributes on BT on YouTube. So we just got our first call in over the text.
Okay. Over the
And it
text.
yes, and it
Okay.
was said by a one Dr. Baruch,
Yes.
who is the owner of the establishment, that some of that propaganda that you're hearing about the Zika virus is designed to help us to keep from procreating.
Oh, okay.
Really?
And anything to stop making black babies.
Well, I
so
tell you
now
this
you're gonna
much,
find
I
out
know
that
I'm not procreating
so now-
at the age
so
of
now-
50, so that's out of the question anyway. So hey,
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for sharing. All right, folks.
I'm just enjoying.
All right,
I'm not
folks.
procreating.
All right,
okay?
in the news with Roland Grimes.
In the news.
In the
Mama's
news
not
with Roland Grimes.
procreating.
Hey, Coach Tanya, Ramalda is not procreating.
Not at
She's
all.
just
enjoying
doing
it.
Enjoying life right about now.
Exactly. Come on.
Dr. Baruch, in case you haven't heard, she's not procreating. She's not procreating. She's just doing it for fun. She's
So
just,
that mosquito was not designed
that
for me.
mosquito is not made for her. All right.
That's
Coach
right.
Tanya-
Yes.
In case y'all don't know, Coach Tanya, Reggie,
I am not in this
Reggie
conversation.
Vaughn,
I am
Dr.
not
Kamal,
in this
Coach Tanya
conversation.
Coach Tanya keeps kicking me under the table.
I am not in this conversation.
If only they could tape under the table,
She-
right?
Ramon, I don't know what happened to you before you came to the show, but whatever you drank,
I can't take the both of y'all. I can't take the both of y'all.
She's underwater. She been underwater. She under the table. She been with mosquitoes.
I can't reach her, so I gotta cut you off.
See, I was getting ready to ask a new friend of mine that is like real serious into like you want to tune in on the ground. So now I'm gonna tell him going forward. I'm glad you missed that first segment. Good.
You got me crying over
You
here.
know,
so
this
like-
is Dr. Zamar, our first guest. This is her first time seeing us live. I didn't prepare
really?
for this.
Oh, did not.
Yeah, she saw clips and she was like, okay, y'all do pretty. Now she's here live. She's like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Like, what did I sign up for?
What did I do? You mean I'm taking them jokers on the road? Oh my goodness.
Dr.
Yeah.
Zamaya, I will keep them under control.
keep it
Please,
real.
could you?
We keep it
I
real.
got
Look.
Well, all I'm saying is, guys, if you're having sex with mosquitoes, please use this new condom by Raid.
Oh God.
Just saying.
Wow.
Condom by Raid. Can you imagine? Just saying.
Dude.
Ba-da-bum.
Ba-dum.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, and no man, you know what? I'm gonna move.
Yeah, move on.
We're gonna
Dr.
whenever.
Dr. Baru, we were
Oh,
talking.
by the way, we have let's give Ron a hand. Ron's on rules are still.
Hey, Ron.
I haven't seen Ron in almost a week now, Coach Tanya, and every time I see him, he's slimmer and darker. I think he must be working this time of the year.
That's
handling
right.
Stuff.
And then he was at the barbecue yesterday over the weekend.
He was?
So he was,
Your
yeah,
chef.
CC barbecue.
Right.
And I'm upset because I don't have a plate.
Right, good thing.
I don't
Like
have a plate.
everybody knew he was there,
Okay.
because he might have told somebody he was someplace else. So Ramona, thank you.
Oh man, you got her in trouble.
She
Jay
done
Red.
him
So,
completely out.
all I'm saying is, I hope he was truthful to
Exactly.
because if he wasn't, his business is now out there
In
on
the
Front
cloud.
Street.
Exactly.
In the cloud.
In the cloud.
And you know
My
what?
brother's okay.
Because
My
this
brother
show is
okay.
going in the
In the
cloud.
cloud.
Exactly.
Reggie,
Can't
you
get
gonna
it back.
post this show in the cloud, right?
We can't get it
And we
back.
can't get this moment back.
My brother's
No.
okay, I'm sure, right?
So
Look.
Ron, okay, also in the studio.
See, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking as far as him working, cutting grass and
Right,
stuff
right.
like
I
that. I
understand.
was
I
doing the
understand.
business side of it.
I got you. I got you.
All right, so now we're gonna set some new rules on this show.
Okay.
Okay, Ramalda, you follow Tanya. Frank,
I was on the business.
yes, sir.
I'm
end.
good.
Frank,
I'm good.
Yeah.
Frank, you follow yourself.
Okay.
And who do you follow?
And then when you give the jokes, Tanya's going to and then hit the
Ding!
symbol.
Oh, cool.
Man.
I have to get the bell in here.
And I'm following Funkadelic.
Okay.
Oh,
You know what I
Right
do.
now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we take, whenever Reggie, who's our engineer, decides he wants to stand up, we'll take a station break. And
All
and
you
I-
do is tell him.
well, no,
Just give him the sign.
Slim, he, I work for him.
Exactly.
So I don't get to tell him anything. I get to like.
You can suggest.
I
Just throw him a
did.
sign.
Yes.
I just did, and guess what happened when I threw the
He
sign?
got up.
I see out of my peripheral vision, I see a handsome, bald-headed African American man.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay, so pick one.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. See,
I was looking at my
Oh, you are
reflection. I was looking at my reflection in the mirror.
Oh, my brother
you
here.
know,
hands.
In
Look.
case y'all haven't heard. Ron, you got a bald head? All right, now you know what to do with yourself, Ron. You got to cut your hair. Tanya is offering bald hair. Why you doing bald hair? You asked me earlier, could I
Cut your hair, yeah.
you can do that.
All right, folks. Tanya's got a birthday coming up, so for a birthday present, she's going to cut my hair.
It's cancer season. Yes.
All right, we'll be back, I think. Sit tight.
I want the band to go with her. Simmons. I'm missing you, baby. Again. I'm missing you, baby. I'm missing you, baby. Yeah, we're gonna take I'm missing you, baby. Again. I'm missing you, baby. I'm missing you, baby. Thoughts of mellow memories once upon. Okay. How we get? Been so long. Been so long. I don't know. That's what I always think. I need to change. You think it's okay like that?
Right.
So I'm gonna say. Once upon a time. Alright, so back.
Okay.
All right, folks. Welcome back to the Roland Grind.
But she believes.
Welcome back to the Roland. Welcome back to the. Welcome
I'm
back,
sorry.
welcome back to the. I can't wait to see this on tape. Wow. Well, I'm changing the name. Welcome back to whoever show y'all wanted to be right about now. My goodness, we have a special guest here in the house, and as we intro this, we were talking, Dr. Zamaya, and we're going to get into your vitae in a second, but we were talking about this Jesse Williams thing, and we were having a quick conversation about some of the things that he mentioned last night and some of the firestorm that came after it. I'm going to let Coach Tanya kind of give us a quick and dirty overview of some of the stuff or some of the theme of what he said last night, Roland, and then it's going to give me a great chance to circle back to my esteemed guest, Dr. Zamaya from Up On It show here on elifemedia.net, powered by Live Music for You. Talk to me, Coach.
Pretty much he was bringing it to attention that we really haven't grown as a people in a sense. You know, he talked about how when there are white perpetrators that they seem to always de-escalate them without shooting them.
They as in the police.
The police.
Okay.
Every time that there is an African-American person involved recently with the police, they always seem to shoot and kill them, no matter what. But you can have someone that's Caucasian, and they're walking around with a gun in their hand on the street. And you sitting there talking to them for 2 and 3 hours. You know, he talked about Tamir Rice being shot when he was at a playground, broad daylight, by himself. But
And he
gets
fired
shot.
no bullets
And
first,
he
right?
fired no bullets.
Right.
And he got shot and killed and lost his
It
life.
was like a drive-by, wasn't it? Like pulled up.
Basically, that's
funny,
what it
but
was. You know, basically, that's what it was. And he talked about, you know, people that if you don't have a solution, if you haven't kind of been in that struggle, you pretty much need to sit down and be quiet. And this is someone that comes from not only an African-American man, but he has a Caucasian mother.
Right.
So it wasn't that he was being prejudiced or anything or biased. He has both as parents, and
So
he's
they can't
speaking up
say
for
that.
what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing he said.
But another thing with that is it's funny that Facebook has taken down every video of it. I had it posted on my page. It's off my page.
Really?
It's off of everyone's page. Whoever posted that video, it's gone off your page from Facebook.
So now that's a warning to all of us who are
That's
dependent on Facebook. All right, so
It's
I
gone.
don't need to say any more about it.
So how would you
right?
be able to save it if?
Well, I have the actual speech saved. One of my girlfriends, she posted the actual words. So I have everything that he said.
Okay. I mean, I still have it, but I'm just trying to figure out how do you save it just in case they do.
You'd probably have to save it to your phone.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Right, you have to save
they're
it to
taking
your
it.
own-
They're taking it off
You have
of
to save it to
Facebook.
your own hard drive, and we've become very dependent on stuff like Facebook, Twitter, etc. in our communication. And over the next period of time, we really need to start beginning to move away from that kind of dependency. Yes, we can include them, but if we're using it as our primary point of social internet connectivity, we don't control that.
I think
Right.
Facebook.
Ramalda, before you start getting on Facebook,
You know, girl, go to the
what did you have to say about the Jesse Williams, the parts of it that you saw?
Oh, I thought everything he said was accurate. I mean, considering that I'm retired from the police department, and I know on both sides.
So what do you know?
Like she was saying, as far as how, if you're, I mean, I'm not a racist person. I have black, white, every nationality in my family you can think of. But it's just crazy. It's true, considering that you have one race that they can walk around, like I say, talk to you and this and that the whole time and not take any type of action against you. But you have a black person, they will tase you, they will beat you. I mean, it's unbelievable. They will shoot you. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Now, it's part of it. It's part of that because we're aggressive in our behavior as well as black citizens.
I can't say
But
that.
was Tamir
I
Rice
can't
being
say
aggressive?
that.
No, I'm asking a question.
I can't say that.
He-
No.
I don't. No, I don't.
And I mean,
Some
a lot of
some people can be
are
aggressive,
aggressive, but
and
at the
some
same
are
time,
not.
it's just a misperception.
Right.
You know,
like I
they
said,
can
being a
they can
police
look at
officer-
you, and we can take prime example.
Oh yeah,
being in Bethesda
yeah.
Blues and
You're-
Jazz.
You're
And
a big, tall guy.
You're a tall
and-
African American
yeah.
male,
They would be ready to
who's
jump
larger
on you and
size.
beat you down.
And if you're not smiling, they're like, okay, what's wrong with him?
And that's the black folks.
And yes, and that's
Right.
the black
Brother
people.
Zamar, you
Right.
gotta
I
see
got
They
that.
would
questioned
be intimidated
on,
by your size alone.
is he okay?
When you roll
You know,
with me,
is
it's,
what's going on?
Your
I'm
size
like, he's
intimidates
fine.
people to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's an
Automatically right off the
intimidation
bat.
too. But
Yes.
it doesn't justify
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
them.
But you better
It
believe
doesn't
they're calling
justify
back up
anyone
for you.
one of y'all-
to do
one at a
anything.
time.
You know, it doesn't
No,
justify.
I'm hearing both of you, so I'm gonna hear one.
Yeah, it doesn't justify the fact that it's still wrong.
No, I'm saying when they call the police for you, they calling back up. It's no doubt about it. Can I get a back up?
Well, no, actually, I ran into a situation in another city, Dr. Zamar, as part of the segue, because there's a part that he said that I wanted to refer to you as well. But I ran into a situation in another city, and it was very, I have to have this conversation with my son, which I don't want to, but I do. And what happened very simply was I got out, I had some groceries, and there was a slight incline in the parking lot. And as I was taking my groceries out, I didn't lock the cart or didn't turn it or whatever. You know what you're supposed to do. You know, I am not a grocery shopping professional. I will admit that. So the cart started to roll, and I went to catch it, and it bumped some guy's car. And the guy in front of this woman came out, white guy, and he was real animated. And I said, hey, man, I apologize. And there was a little, I mean, you couldn't even barely see
teeny
it.
dent.
It wasn't even a dent. It was just a little scratch. Because, you know, the crate, the shopper cars have rubber edges just for that reason.
You saying the shopping cart
Shopping
hit his
cart
car.
hit his
Okay,
car, right.
got you.
So, and it wasn't a long distance. It was just, so anyway, he was real animated. I mean, was, demonstrative, et cetera. And the more demonstrative he became, the cooler I got. Because I wasn't going to get into that kind of escalation. I didn't want that visual.
Plus your son is standing right there
No,
with
my
you.
son,
He
before
wasn't
my son
in?
was
Okay,
even born,
got
so
you.
I gotta
Okay,
tell him the story. So while I'm sitting there and while he's doing this thing, a guy sitting behind him, said, he gets out and said, don't worry about it. I'm going to go in and I'm going to call the police. This even really just before cell phones hit real big.
Over that? They were going to call the police?
Nah. So I asked him, I said, what are you calling the police for? He said, because you're getting angry. I said, I'm getting angry. I said, I haven't said a word.
Wow.
I haven't even raised my hands. I said, he's the one that's angry. He said, yeah, but you're going to, I'm like, I'm going to what?
He's assuming what you're going to do.
So he goes in to call the police. Now I can't leave.
Right. Oh, my goodness.
Now I cannot leave. He comes back and says, sir, now I can't leave. The guy can take my insurance information. I can give him my driver's license. I can give him, if he wants to call his insurance company and they want to charge, that's fine.
Right.
I said, we don't need to do all this. Now you don't call the
and
cops.
that's on public property. The cops don't take a report for that anyway.
So again,
wow.
I can't leave. So black sheriff pulls up. And I said, oh, God, thank you. So he's dealing with the situation. No, he's dealing with the situation.
Okay.
But see, this is in a town, Syracuse,
Okay.
where I'm fairly well known.
Right, right.
So when he pulls up, I identified his name. He easily identified mine once I gave it to him. And then he dealt with it. He said, sir, I'm glad you called the cops, but unless something violent happened, he said, this is really a civil matter.
That's right.
You need to get his insurance information out.
Right.
So when it was over, I went to the guy. I said, "Man, I'm glad you showed up, man." I said, "This could have been
get out of hand.
out of hand without me even doing anything." Doc, he said to me, as soon as he said he was on another call and had a motorist on the side of the road and was addressing that motorist. When he heard the call, he said, when he hears these three words, he knows he better get his butt there because it's not going to end well.
Yep.
And the three words are large,
Black,
Male. Right.
And that's the code
Yeah.
for the posse. And sure enough, somebody else pulled up. Like, wait, and he was like, hey, I got it under control. There's no issue here. Keep it moving.
Oh, they ready to fight.
I mean,
They're ready to fight.
He said that's the code, and when they get in the car, they're
automatic. They're automatically
adrenaline starts to pumping. I mean, it's
happens.
crazy. It's
and,
crazy.
And I want to know. I mean, I know that we're extremely attractive human beings, African American men. I know that people everywhere we go and whatever we do, we leave an impact, whether sports, business, education, whatever. And I know sometimes that people get very excited when we come in the door, one way or another, positively or negatively. What is it about us that, especially black men, that creates, in you guys' mind, what is it about us that creates such furor every time we come through the door, every time we open our mouth, every time we do something? There seems to me to be a very extreme reaction, either positive or negatively, to our presence and our being. Dr. Zamar, I'm going to throw this out to you because you've heard from some African American men quite a bit over the last few weeks. What are some of the things that they're saying that is contributing to some of the hostile reactions we get when we're not the ones that are being the aggressor?
Well, let me first address the issue of law enforcement. Right now, I think we're strictly just dealing with a case of abuse of power when it comes to other races outside of our own races. And so what we're seeing is a platform of law enforcement who knows that we have a corrupt judicial system, and because that system backs up their behavior, now it's a free card to attack African Americans, period, regardless of your size, your age, your gender. I saw
Because there's
a
very little
video.
repercussion for them doing it.
There's no repercussions.
There's no repercussions.
It's moved from very little to no
Yes.
repercussions.
Right.
I saw on Facebook last week a white cop slamming down an 87-year-old woman. She was either
Really?
84
What?
or 87.
Oh my God.
And it was all caught on video.
Oh, my goodness.
84, 87 years old. First of all, they're trained how to de-escalate
Yes.
a situation.
Right.
They are trained to use other techniques to bring down a hostile person.
Right.
Correct.
So you see it clearly played out or manifested when the person is any other race other than African American. They will talk them down.
Yes.
They will, use very little physical contact.
Incendiary words.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
I've seen them on video cuss at the cops and jump in their faces, and they're like, "Hey, man, let's see if we can."
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. And they're trying to de-escalate.
Like
It's crazy.
the white kid who did the shooting at Virginia State College, they offered to take him to get something to
Yes.
eat.
Right.
So
Right.
Let that have been an African American.
When I heard that, are you kidding?
Let that have been
Yeah.
anybody else.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have even gotten out of there alive.
Exactly.
Dr. Zamar, I didn't get that memo. What did you just tell me?
Yeah, that white kid who shot up all of the staff and children at Virginia
Yeah.
State
They had him in
University,
the back.
they talked him down and offered to take him to get something to eat
Yep.
before they took him to the precinct.
That's right.
You mean not as
While
part
he
of a
was in the-
negotiation,
No,
but while he's in the
While
car?
he's in the car.
Yeah. While he's in the back seat. Yeah.
Now, he just committed mass murder. That was a massive shooting.
Right.
And he gets to go eat before
Right.
he goes to jail.
Right.
First of all, he gets to walk out alive.
Alive.
Right.
That's the
Exactly.
first thing
Right.
is he gets to
Exactly.
walk out alive.
So our team
Exactly.
did not take him down.
No.
Okay?
Exactly.
I mean, any other time, they would be there took him out.
And then when things do happen, the penalty for what they serve, the
It's minimal.
Virginia cop that just got sentenced to 1 year in prison
And you know how strict
for
Virginia
shooting
is,
the
making their
man
own
in
laws?
his door. You
Isn't
went
that
to the
crazy?
man's house
Isn't that crazy?
and you shot and killed him. But you've served 10 months, so now all you get, because you took a plea, you get 1 year in jail.
If that. That's what they're saying to us.
Yes.
9 times out of 10,
And
you
it's-
may get out on
It's
4
not,
months for good
it's not
behavior.
regular jail because you're a police officer, so
Right.
you're not putting
Right.
general population.
Well, no, that's not true.
Well,
That's
this one is
true.
not being put in
Okay,
general
I was gonna say,
population. It
sometimes
said
they
it
do,
in the
sometimes
paper
they-
that
yeah,
it was not
depends,
going
yeah,
to
but
be in general
that's
pretty
crazy.
much. So,
And Virginia make their own laws as they go along.
Yeah.
so yeah.
Well, pretty much every state is becoming that way.
So
But-
before,
but
before
you-
we take a quick station break, Dr. Zamar, you ready to make a point? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, so what we're seeing, in that area is the abuse of power. And we are seeing that racism is not dead. It is still
Oh,
very much
absolutely.
alive. We just had racism in other forms where it was more behind the pen
Mm-hmm.
in laws and legislations and things like that. But now it's becoming up front and in your face where you're seeing more physical contact
Right.
or, cases where you can't deny that this has to be a racist case.
Now, the prevailing theory was once you had cameras showing everything. And once police were required to carry cameras, on their car and on their persons, and things would videotape, that we should get some more equality and balance in the jurisprudence.
It's going to take a change of law.
And don't
Yes.
think it doesn't go on with the officers that work together also, okay?
I got you.
So it goes on between them also, with the racist thing also, considering that you got to be careful who you work with.
Ron,
That's
can
a
you
whole
tell
nother
Reg we
story.
gotta take a quick station break? When we come back, Dr. Zamad, Jesse Williams also made a comment about 2 African American women that we as black men are going to start doing better. And when we come back, we're going to open up with that and talk a little bit about your book. We'll go from there. Roland Bubba Grimes, sit tight. We'll be right back.
May not come to back you up. You need to be back there.
All right, back in the house. Roland Bubba Grimes here. Roland Grimes Show live. Not just sports, entertainment, beauty, and the beast version. And of course, I'm Roland Bubba Grimes here with the beauty coach Tanya, and my red skin cupcake lady and additional co-host Miss Romalda, and also our special guest Dr. Zamaya. And we're going to jump right back into it. Dr. Zamaya, Jesse Williams also in his speech last night talked and mentioned something to the ladies, especially black women, who have been nurturing everyone under the sun and putting themselves secondary, essentially, is paraphrasing what he said. And he said, we as black men will do better. When you hear that, what are some of the things that immediately come to mind?
Well, first of all, it's the how-to. How are you going to do better? For so many years, that I kind of label that the jail talk. You know how a person go to jail and I've learned my lesson, I'm going to do better, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. There are some men who sincerely want to do better, but now we're at the stage of what does it take for you to be better? So in order for a man to do better, he has to become better. So for each man that looks different, because each man goes through their own processes and stages of life. So what works for one man doesn't necessarily work for the other man. So without that, you don't just do better without becoming better. So when I hear that, my first response is, how are you going to do better? What do you think we need? Because it may just be more than we need to stop raising our sons by ourselves. Right, I need you to be mentally healthy and be mentally capable in a positive way to raise my son, not just have your presence there. So that's a very broad statement that he made, and actually is one that you can't make for everybody because each person's process is different. So when I hear that, it really doesn't do anything for me unless the man or the men that are in my circle, I see them doing the how-to part of how to be better.
Super. So, as an African-American male, I can tell you this much. This is what I know. There are some people in my life who have tried to make me better. One of the persons in my life that's always tried to make me better, who incidentally spent an inordinate amount of time with me, was my coach. More than my parents, more than my teachers, and more than anyone else was my coaches. Now what happens is they give you very specific markers in order for you to drop your 40 time from a 4.8 to a 4.7. These are the things you have to do. This is your goal. This is how you reach it. If along the way you're not, now we'll make some adjustments. We want you to bench 400 pounds. You're at 325. This is what you're going to do. Every week you're going to add 10 pounds to your bench. And then you're going to get it to 425. So when we test you, 400 is not. So they give us specific things that need to be done and specific steps to get there. For men in America who look like me, there's no specificity in terms of what accomplished, successful, doing better men look like. It's different from house to house, plantation to plantation, and person to person, and parent to parent. That which I would do with you that you think is marvelous, and I just dealt with a situation before the show started. I have a platform where I bring in multiple people on my show, and every once in a while, someone doesn't like my model, and they're like, I don't want to do it. And what happens is I have to say, okay. Now, does the industry say, hey, here's the standard, Roland Grimes, you got to meet that standard, and if you don't meet that standard, then we're done with you as an industry. If that's the case, hey, maybe I won't get on ABC with this. All right, but what happens is we need to know what doing better looks like, what does it mean, and what are the specific things we have to do that. Now, I ask you, Coach Tanya, I ask you, Romalda, in response to that, what are one or two things that you say we as a black nation of men need to do better? And then what are maybe some of the steps we can do to get there?
Like you said, and like Dr. Zamaya said, it's different for every man. I mean, a generalization could be, as far as the kids are concerned, raising children, be a part of their lives more. And it's not to say that all men are not a part of their children's lives, but there's a vast majority that are not in their children's lives for whatever reason, whether they're incarcerated or they just choose to be personally out of that child's life. That, to me, is the catalyst for a lot of things that goes forward. And it's because you have mothers, because a mother, 9 times out of 10, is never going to go anywhere. But you have more you do have mothers that do leave their children. I'm not saying that there aren't. You have fathers that are raising their children. But 9 times out of 10, it's that woman that's going to be there. And the men have to step up. Whether you want to be with that woman or not, that's neither here nor there. It's all about the child.
Okay, before I go to Ramona, I'm going to jump in on this. This is where some of the problem then comes in, because I want to hear it. When a person tells me that we need to be in our child's life more, that's an abstract definition. There's no quantifiable definition for what more is. Now, in other cultures, they appear to have some kind of idea what more looks like. You're going to spend an hour with them every night, or you're going to do this, or you're going to do that. In other words, there's some kind of staple for what more looks like. So in other words, when you go to court, they give you a more. They say you're going to be with them over the weekend, 2 weekends out of every month, or 2 weeks out of every month, or you're going to pay this much. And then, interestingly enough, 85% of the men meet that which the court has mandated, because we specifically hear it, see it, know what it is, and it's a target. It's not a moving bullseye, something that we can hit.
So basically what you're saying is every female that has a child with a male needs to give you a guideline as to what you're supposed to do with that child.
If we don't have a guideline, how are we satisfied? I don't know where it comes from.
Women don't have a guideline either when it comes to having a child. You just step up and you do what you're supposed to do.
And that's a good point. So what happens is, who is saying that if there's no guideline, Ramon, I'm throw this to you, if there's no guideline, then how do we know what step up looks like if it's no concrete, specific determination of what step up is?
I mean, I would be on I would have a different view of that, considering that I would say you would have to learn you need to know who you are first before you can really give your time to your child. You have to know who you are.
Okay, now you're talking about a whole nother process.
That's what I'm saying.
That might take 30 years. We had some gentlemen on the show who find out who they are at 56.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if they don't know, how can they give to the kid if they don't know who they are?
I'm going to, Dr. Jamal, when I take this phone call, I'm going to throw this back to you now. How is it that we're supposed to know what those moves are when they're not outlined for us? Go ahead, please.
I think that it starts with the parents
That's what I'm saying. They have to get to know who
identifying what works for that
they are.
family.
Right, exactly.
Even in the process of getting to know who you are, you have to know, or you have to set the guidelines that work for your family.
Right.
And again, this is not a topic where every remedy applies to every home, because you have different dynamics, right? You have some women who, because you all didn't work out, they don't want you to be a part of their children's life. They do everything to fight you to stay out of their children's lives, or to turn the kids against you. You have some men who, have addiction problems, and so because of their sickness and their illness, they can't be there for their children. So that's when two adults have to be adults and define what works for that child's needs, and what works for that family.
Okay. Caller, are you there?
I am
Who are we speaking to?
Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Everybody say hi,
Hi,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. You're
Hi.
like on a virtual AA meeting. Hi, I'm Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Lisa, you had a question or comment. Talk to us.
I do have a comment. I spent an entire year working in the courthouse in Charles County. And one of the things that I saw was that the men would come in wanting and desiring to spend a lot of time with their children, but the women were always trying to dictate what more looks like, or how much is more, or how little is more. And because they were always trying to manipulate everything, or the relationship with the man ended up on the end of the stick. I think sometimes we women need to step back and allow the men to be men, and to have that time with their children unhindered, and stop trying to tell men what our perception of their role should be.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Lisa, I got
Yes.
3 heads nodding and some
Absolutely.
corrects, but
Yes.
Yes.
Because
my
you
good-
can't determine how.
Reg,
how
we got 4 head nods. Lisa, I'm gonna need your phone number when we get off here, because I gotta get you on the show.
And Lisa, can I
Dr.
say
Zamar,
something to
I'm going
her?
right to you, Dr. Zamar.
Lisa, I'm so glad that you called in and you made that statement, because this is the reason why a lot of men are not involved in their children's lives. And we have for so many years, we've put so much, we've put the spotlight on what the man is not doing, that nobody looks at our behavior. And so society has brought us to a place where it's time for women to check themselves. Because a lot of the things that we're dealing with, as it relates to our relationships with men, we caused it, we provoked it, because we are trying to be manipulative, we are trying to be deceptive, we are trying to dictate how everything goes, instead of taking into consideration that we have to consider another human being who does not think the way we think, who does not perceive things the way that we perceive things.
May not
And
been
so
raised the way we've been
exactly.
raised. I mean, so it's a total
So there are
difference.
many different characteristics that play into why something didn't work, why something is not working. And so we have to come together to be able to figure out what works best for us. So, I've said for years, some laws need to be changed. And I know that from a personal experience, and watching, someone that was very dear to me go through a heartbreaking tear up with his child, and he looking like the monster, when behind the whole scenes it was the child's mother. So there needs to be laws that need to be redefined, relooked at, so that everybody can get a fair across the board, look at what's going to work for our children today.
Correct.
Lisa? Hello?
I think you may get cut off.
Lisa, did we lose you?
Yeah, because sometimes the mother's like trying to manipulate the father with, like, he's her child.
Exactly.
Well, you can't treat this man as though he's your child, considering that you have raised your child how you want your child to be. But this man has been raised by someone else that in a whole different lifestyle. And it's crazy. And then you're trying to make him do what you want him to do because you want him to fit the mold of what you want him to fit. And it doesn't work like that.
And when he doesn't, then you use
Then
the
you're gonna
child
use
as
the
bait.
child. Right, right. Absolutely.
So, okay.
That's probably Lisa again.
Y'all sit tight. Dr. Zamar, as I pick up the phone, you have experienced some things in your life that have led to you to writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
And as I pick up this phone and take this next caller, please talk a little bit about what it's about and why we need to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, the name of the book is called Deliverance from the Vicious Cycle of Abuse. Now, normally when people hear that, the first thing that they think about is sexual or physical abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the book talks about relationship toxicity. So I talk about mental abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse. Abuse is so much more than physical or sexual abuse. And so we go through...
It's a lot of feedback, Roland.
Yeah.
And so we go through, a lot of toxic relationships.
Right.
We embrace toxic relationships
think
because
it's
we
normal.
don't know what it looks like.
Right.
It becomes our norm.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we think that it's normal and we meet people who have, received an awakening or a revelation that, hey, I don't have to deal with this,
yeah.
then we try to, we try to put our feelings on top of, or we try to make a person feel bad because they refuse to allow themselves to be in situations that will cause them to be abused.
Right.
Many people suffer emotional, mental, verbal, especially verbal abuse. If someone calls you out your name, that's verbal abuse. If someone lies to you on a consistent basis, that's emotional abuse as well as mental abuse and verbal abuse because you can't depend on that person. If someone is always trying to manipulate you, control you, deceive you, it causes emotions to stir up in you that make you react in a way that is out of your character. You would normally act. And so when we embrace these things as normal and make it a normal part of our life, and we bring people like this into our circle, and we wonder why we're dealing with depression, because see, it don't just stop there. Then you bring on mental illnesses within yourself. You bring on physical sicknesses within yourself. Your environment. We weren't created to live in toxic environments.
It's like you break your immune system down.
Exactly. Bit by bit. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
No, but so you talked about when I grabbed the phone. Did you mention about the book while I was talking?
I
about
did.
it? Okay,
I
great.
did.
I just want to make sure because I was
I
trying
can't wait to read that book.
to.
my name should be in that book. I'm like, oh my God. I've
but
been
you know
married.
what?
Look, I've been married several times. Okay,
don't share. Don't tell. Reggie, strike that from the record.
But you know what, Roland? It's a book that everyone will find themselves in.
Exactly.
You
That's
will
real
find
life.
yourself in this
That
book.
is real
If
life.
you're a leader, if you're a supervisor, how do you lead? How do you, if you feel like you need to be a taskmaster, you're abusing those that are underneath of you.
Right.
Oh, I love the book. So we're here. I mean, it's not an issue. You don't have to tell me.
You will find yourself in this book.
Look at him and tell him jokers. He's getting a what's the name? So we're gonna take a break in about 75 seconds, and before we do, Lisa, you're still on the line.
Yes, I'm back. Hi.
Hi, Lisa.
Wow, Lisa, seems like you're enjoying the conversation.
Oh, I've been look, I have been all in y'all's show today. Especially when, you all started talking about the police thing, but I didn't call in at that moment because I wanted to hear everything that you said, but you're talking to a 21-year veteran of the police department right there in Georgia, Prince George's. And it's such a balancing act that we have had to do in trying to be the police while staying black, while remaining true to your blackness. And for me, being a mom of two black sons, and with my last name being a Muslim last name, it's definitely a juggling act.
Okay, so I know who you are now. All right, Lisa. Yeah, I know. I'll see you on Facebook, Lisa. I love you too. All right, don't start now. Won't be nothing, folks. We're gonna take a quick station break from last name Muslim. Break from. I can't even talk. All right, we'll be back in about.
Thank you, Lisa.
We'll be back in 47 seconds. Sit tight. Great conversation, folks. It is Roland Bubba Grimes here on the Roland Grimes Show Live. Beauty and the Beast, if you haven't noticed, the Beauty has stepped off for a second so she can handle some business for us. She's working on
I'm not
marketing
handsome.
Okay, now I'm changing the name of the show. With Frankie J in the house. I see my man Robert Hall from the Hall Street Journal. Folks, give him a hand.
Yes, sir.
Hall Street Journal on Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Coffee everywhere. Right after that, Keep It Moving Show, The Heaven in Every Black Face, Roland Grimes Show Thursday night. Followed by my man Haki, the success scholar, coming on in a second. And before we go any further, Kyrie, my good friend, has come back to see me. Hi, Kyrie.
Hello, Roland. How are you?
All right. Frank doesn't know anything about you. He just
No, I
thinks,
don't.
He think I brought you up here so I can start Beauty and the Beast Part 2. But
Oh, she's
Frank,
a cutie pie.
Frank, but that's not why
Thank
she's
you.
here. All right. So stare down, and this is what we're gonna do. She has a business proposition for us,
Oh,
and a good one.
do tell.
Talk about your
Okay.
business.
The business, it is a prepaid MasterCard. It's called Cascade, CASCADE.com. Cascade. What it is when you use that Cascade prepaid MasterCard, it's your card, okay? It's not a credit card. So it has all of the backends by MasterCard.
Okay.
Okay. So every time that you use that card, you in turn will receive a percentage back. There's some qualifications though. One of the qualifications is you have to spend $350 a month, which is your money, okay? Pay bills. I pay my Geico bill, the insurance bill, and of course that cell phone bill that's always over $100 and some dollars.
Exactly.
Okay, so when you use that on a non-debit purchase, which is a charge, basically you get a percentage. And you tell people by building a business that you tell somebody to come through and look at the card. You have enough.
Yeah,
And
slide the microphone with you so that we can hear you.
Slide
real
the
clear.
microphone.
Slide the microphone.
over here with you.
Slide the microphone.
So I have my name under my company is cascade.com/neat ivory.
Neat Ivory.
NEATIVORY. Okay, so I use that on a daily basis, and I receive money back from shopping.
Wow.
So here it is. Say for instance that you go to Macy's and you buy some jewelry for your significant other. So every time that you use that card, Cascade charges Macy's what you call a cashback fee. So they give you a percentage back of that cashback fee every month.
Oh, wow.
And that's how they charge Macy's the interchange fee.
So I can buy things like groceries,
Yes.
pay my phone bill like you said,
Yes.
utility bills,
Yes.
car note.
Card note is usually taken out through withdrawals on a credit card. So
Okay.
they don't do it with a
I feel you.
credit
Okay.
transaction.
Okay. Interesting. I'm game. Get money back every month?
And
A
now,
check?
month.
And now
Or it goes right back to your
It
card.
goes right back to your card.
Oh, that's nice.
So
So, Kyrie, now as you look at the camera and tell these beautiful folks, they also can do something else with it that very few things they can do in life. They can also show other people how to do it as well, and then encourage them to do it and actually make money with them
yes.
as they make their purchases.
Yes.
So explain to the beautiful folks out there looking at you exactly how some of that works. We had about 2 minutes at the most, and we're going to have to bring you back. Go ahead.
Okay, so what it is, I tell you, you tell someone else, and that someone else tells someone else. And it goes down like a pyramid in the cycle. So every time that person charges, you receive a fund back, and it goes up the line, down the line, to that change. So there is a one-time fee of $6.99 for the card itself.
That's pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm. And there is an ongoing fee, which is $4.99. And that's it. And that's
I
it.
like the business idea.
So you
Definitely.
make money. You make
Yeah.
money. So where you need to go to is www.cascade.com/neat ivory. NEATIVORY.
All right, Frank, we're going to do that as soon as we leave here, and we're going to check it out. Is that cool with
Absolutely.
That's
All
what
right,
you
folks,
said last
look-
time.
you? But I did. I did. Oh, did y'all see that grit?
Oh.
Reggie's like, okay, you just got called on the carpet, Big Bubba. All right, so Kyrie, we're gonna talk in a minute, darling. All right.
All right.
Okay. Holla.
Holla.
Folks, Roland Bubba Graham Show, and this show is going into the time tunnel. It was no joke. Frank, thank you.
Yes, sir. Anytime, buddy.
Kyrie, love you. Ron, as always. Reggie, you're the best. Coach Tanya, I hope you come back next time. Ramalda, thank you, love you. Dr. Zamar, you're the best. No matter what we say about you, you're still the best. All right? And this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a break next week because Big Bubba got a birthday. And Reggie told me I could take a day off for my birthday.
Nice.
I was only born once.
Nice.
Dr. Zamato, you and I got work to do. All right, folks, love you. We'll see you soon. God bless. Roland Bubba Grimes. We're out.